Hi, and welcome to It Doesn't Have to Be Perfect. So, today I want to talk about imposter syndrome because I've always heard that term. I remember the first time really hearing about it was through Emma Chamberlain. I remember she talked about it on her podcast like 2 years ago, a year ago at this point. And I had heard the term. I feel like a lot of like certain terms will become popular and then everyone talks about it, and it's like a not a trendy thing but like there's like more awareness to a certain thing, to a certain phenomenon, or whatever. And I've always like I loosely knew what it meant, but I was at a coffee shop with my friend the other day and I was applying to jobs, and I was applying to jobs that like were not I don't want to say below me because I don't think I'm all that, but like I was definitely applying to jobs that I was overqualified for. I was like looking at other positions that paid, say, in the range of like 70 to like 90K, right? And like that's a lot of money for me. Like I've never made that much money in my life. And I was just like looking at the qualifications and I fit all of them essentially. And I was like, oh, but like there's no way like they would hire me. Like there's no way, because like even though I'm qualified, I feel like I'm not that good. I feel like I'm not that special. I feel like maybe I wouldn't be able to, live up to the expectations of this position. And that's like so and I don't even say that humbly. I like genuinely was like, I don't think I'd be a good fit, even though I have every single qualification on there. And then I like was questioning myself a little bit because I was like, why do I feel like this? Like do I really think that low of me? Like I didn't think that I did until, now graduating from my master's and now I'm job hunting my big girl job. I feel like I'm not aligning with anything, and I'm getting a little worried. I'm like, why do I feel like I'm either too much for this job or too little for this one? And that's when I searched up imposter syndrome and what it actually means. So apparently, like the way I thought it was like, oh, like you just don't feel like you're worthy of something. Like you don't feel like you're good enough or whatever, right? But what it like actually means is it does mean that, but also it means that you think that the things you've accomplished are kind of due to luck and like kind of due to like just things aligning well, not because of your own innate and matured abilities. It's more so like you think like, oh, like external factors, like it's not for me, like I didn't accomplish those things, like I just got by essentially, and that's why I have these accomplishments. And I was like, wait, I like resonate with that so much, because apparently there's like 5 different types of imposter syndromes, like personality traits or whatever. And the one I really resonated with was, by no surprise, the perfectionist. I think, did I write that down? Yeah, I think the perfectionist, because like I think that unless I know every single thing about a certain position or about a certain ability, or on a certain subject, unless I know everything inside and out, I don't consider myself an expert. And I'll give you an example. Like I have been working at a cafe. Let's see, I did 3 years with Starbucks. I want to say like 2.5 years with Starbucks. And right now I'm coming up on almost a year at a new coffee shop. So that's 3 years, almost 3.5 years of experience, right? As being a barista and in a leadership position. And I still don't like consider myself an expert at all. Like I don't think that I know everything. Well, I know that I don't know everything. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. And it's like that gap of like, because I'm not at 100%, I think that I'm like down here. And it's so unfair for myself to think like that, because I'm like, okay, wait, but like you're still qualified. Like you still know a lot. Like you can't just say that you're not capable, or that you don't know anything, or that you're not, on the verge of being an expert or whatever. Because everyone can do a job, but like, can you do a job well? And dude, working in a coffee shop is not my end goal, But at but I still know a lot. And like, that's cool because, you know, coffee, everyone loves coffee. Like, to be pulling up to the party and like make an espresso martini, like shit, like I'll, you know, that's my party trick. But because I don't know everything in and out, I'm like, oh, like I don't really know much. And it's like, Janine, hello. And I feel like a lot of people nowadays have that mindset, or I don't know. I do remember reading that it started more as a phenomenon among highly successful women, and I'm like, that makes a lot of sense because I feel like I've met so many men in my life that like they just are in like a position of power, and they just have so much confidence in like themselves and like what they do, even if they don't do a lot. And I'm just like, how the fuck do you have, like, I've always said this, men just have the audacity, but maybe they're onto something here, because holy shit, like the amount of confidence I've seen in so many men in positions of power, I'm like, you're not even qualified for this. But like, wait, but like, how are you doing that? Like, how do you even like just pretend that you know what you're doing? And I feel like a fraud. And that was actually one of the symptoms of imposter syndrome, just like feeling like a fraud, like feeling like you're not worthy. And I'm like, that's me, bro. That is so me, because like I feel like I'm lying to everyone. If I take, say, if I were to get a position that pays me 80K and I do an interview, I'm going to feel like I don't, not necessarily don't belong, but like I feel like I'm just not going to be good enough for what they want or what they need. Like, I feel like I'm going to fall short of expectation, and I feel like I'm going to need guidance. And like, if I really need guidance, like, do I really deserve that position? You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't even realize that I had these feelings so deep running within me until this last week when I was, you know, applying to those big girl positions. And I've been applying to jobs, yeah, but like I finally have been like kind of scaling it down to like what I think my degree and what my abilities align with. And the numbers are pretty generous. And not to say that I'll even like, you know, end up in a high position, because I'm like technically entry level, because I don't have like marketing experience like in the real world. I just have my social media and my degree, but it's still pretty generous. And that feels like, oh, like I won't know what I'm doing. Like, why would they hire me? Like, why would they take a chance on me? And I, unfortunately, after reflecting on this a little more, I think I also see it trickling down in other aspects of my life. For example, I'm a runner. I love running, but I don't think I'm like an athlete. Okay, like I've been running since I was like 15 years old, okay? Like I will do the 5Ks here and there, you know, but I on my own time, like I run. But I wouldn't consider myself like, oh, I'm so good at running, or I'm an expert or whatever, you know? Cuz I'm not like, you know, in a professional position. Or like, even if I was, I think I would still feel like, because I don't know everything about technique, I don't know everything about, I don't know, the science behind how the body, you know, the benefits of it, whatever, because I don't know every single extensive thing about the sport of running, I would feel like a fraud. I feel like a fraud. I don't call myself an athlete, whatever. But when I really think about it, if you put it on paper, I am a runner. Like I'm borderline an athlete. And even then I'm like, okay, but that's like not enough. Like that's even what I see on paper. If I write down all my abilities, I'm like, yeah, that's not enough. And it's like, girl, what? Because if I saw someone else doing this, I'd be like, oh my God, like they know what they're doing. Like they have the stamina, they have the ability, they have the knowledge, you know, after I don't know how many runs, like at one point, like you kind of know what motivates you, what, you know, what clothing is more appropriate, what's more comfortable, what helps with the stamina before you eat, like what should you eat before a run, how much water should you drink before, like you along the way learn that stuff. And even though I know all that, I'm like, that's still not, you're still not an expert. You don't know anything. And I'm like, okay, what? Like, stop. Like, why do I feel like I know nothing? And I underestimate my knowledge. And I've talked about this before on a podcast I did, in a podcast episode I did, where I talked about wanting to be smarter. And in that episode, I was genuinely like, I don't know anything. Like, I feel like I don't know anything. I know some things, but I don't know everything. And there's like, I don't know where I got this pressure to put on me. I think it's just like the perfectionist mindset where like, I need to know everything about a certain topic to like consider myself smart in that, you know, in that subject. And I'm like, why is the bar so high? Like, why am I setting it so high? Because I know for a fact that no one in my life has that ability. Like, we all, everyone in my life is like good at many things and they know a lot about certain things and whatever. But like, no one knows 100% like everything about this topic. So why am I putting this pressure on myself when I don't put that pressure on others? Like, I'm not over here like, oh, like you need to learn everything about this genre of books or else like you don't know nothing. I'm like, no, that's not true. That's not how it works, Janine. Like, and I think it's I don't know. I honestly, I think it's just like my perfectionism, and we know I'm working on it, and this podcast is literally about, you know, not trying to make everything perfect and not trying to be perfect. But I never realized how embedded it was in other aspects of my life and my thinking and my thought processes. Like, perfectionism really runs deep in me. And, you know, I feel like the root really is like my eating disorder when I was like 14, because like I was like, if I don't eat perfectly this day, like it's all down the drain. I'm just gonna get like fat and I'm gonna hate myself and all this stuff. And I'm like, girl, that's not how it works. And like, I would put so much pressure on myself. And I think because I don't do that now with eating, like I'm so much more open and free, and like I don't restrict myself like I used to. I actually eat healthy. I'm like active, like I'm good. You know, I'm good and I'm healthy. But like I think it's just like bled into other like mindsets in my head, like because I don't have it with food anymore, it kind of just went on to like this intelligence route. And I'm like, what? Like like when did that happen? Like, what the hell? Okay, but I guess that's what we're doing. But I don't want to do that, because like then I underestimate myself and I sell myself short, and there's no like intrinsic value for my own abilities. And I was reading actually a few articles on it, and one of them was here are some techniques on how to kind of just get to the bottom of it and kind of like undo that. And one of the questions was, what core beliefs do I hold about myself? Must I be perfect for others to approve of me? Nube, come here. Come here. Girl, you really be crying. Oh my gosh. You big crybaby? Oh my gosh, she's spoiled. Okay, anyways. What core beliefs do I hold about myself? Must I be perfect for others to approve of me? I think listen, I don't think it's more like a must I be perfect for others to approve of me? No, I'm like, no, I don't think so. I think the core beliefs that I hold up about myself, those are really what I need to work on. I need to stop selling myself short, and I need to be more confident in my knowledge and my ability to overcome tough circumstances or new roles and new positions of leadership. I just need to like trust myself more and like actually, you know, write down, I think, everything that I know that I'm good at, things that I know that I've built on, because, you know, we're not naturally good at everything. That's just a given. But like through time and craftsmanship and dedication, like you are able to build those skills. And I think I lack confidence in like that I can do that. And I don't know why. I don't know why this happened, but because every obstacle that I faced, like I've overcame, like duh, I'm here, right? Like I'm speaking, I have a platform, I have a podcast, I have a YouTube channel, like so like why am I doubting myself so much? And partly might be because my last internship that I did with my school, I just remember kind of getting a lot of negative feedback on like all my work. And so at one point I stopped trying to go above and beyond because I was like, well, everything every time I go above and beyond and like try to give ideas, they just get shot down. So like I'm just going to do whatever they need me to do, what they want me to do. And I feel like part of that too didn't really help my professional confidence, and that's something I've also mentioned before, but I think I'm really starting to see how it's affecting my core beliefs about myself in the workplace, you know? And the workplace is not, my entire life, but it is a big part of it. Like, I want to get a job, I want to be able to afford my rent. Like, I want to be able to enjoy what I do on a day to day basis. So it's important that I overcome these things because, again, it's going to be a big part of my life. And I want to be able to have that confidence in myself and my abilities. Like, who who do I think I am? Like, doubting myself like that, like, girl, like, look where you've come from and like where you ended up. Like, I've accomplished so much and I just need to let myself get that praise. And like, damn, like imposter syndrome is so real. And like, again, I always heard this term, but like I thought it was just kind of more of a buzzword, to be honest. I never really like understood. I'm like, hey, like Emma Chamberlain, you've done so many cool things. Like, how can you not see and resonate with that? Like, look at the life you're living. And I kind of need to tell myself that now. I'm like, hey, like you're good. Like you're smart, you're capable, you're ever growing, you're ever changing, and you are able to overcome circumstances. Like, this is the pep talk that I need to give myself and actually praise the things I'm good at. Like, yo, like just because my internship wasn't a good fit for me doesn't mean that you're not a good fit anywhere. So another technique that I was reading about was, once you answer those questions that I just read out loud earlier, once you answer that, assess your abilities. And if you have long held beliefs about your incompetence in social and performance situations, well, I would say I'm more of like performance situations, not really social. I feel like I'm good in the social aspect, but make a realistic assessment of your abilities. That's something I need to do. And then write down your accomplishments and what you are good at, and then compare these with your self-assessment. And yeah, that's something, this is like my form of therapy for myself because I don't have health insurance, so I can't actually get therapy. So we're DIYing this, okay? But I do want to get better at this. And if you resonate with any of this at all, I would definitely urge you to do the same because, like, girl, we got so much to give. We are so capable and we are so like competent. Like, I know I'm competent, and like I just need to pick myself back up because I do hate being a victim of anything. I will say that I like being powerful. I like being strong. I like having a strong character and knowing that I can overcome anything because, again, like the proof is in my past. Like, all these things that I've overcame and I'm still here. I want to be able to continue that streak. I don't want to let one bad internship experience like ruin that. Like, no thank you. I will not be like put down like this. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, and I hope this helped you in any way or that you resonated. And honestly, let's work on it together if you are on the same boat, because this is so real. I, again, like, unless you experience something, like, you kind of like, oh, like, yeah, I guess that is an issue that people have, but once you're in it, you're like, oh yeah, I need to get better at this. And yeah, so anyways, thanks for listening. I love you very much, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.